U.S. President Donald Trump is open to a trilateral summit in Alaska with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. For now, the White House plans a bilateral meeting with Putin as requested by the Russian leader. European leaders are calling for increased pressure on Russia ahead of the summit, insisting that Ukraine's future must not be decided without Kyiv's involvement. A joint statement reaffirmed that meaningful negotiations can only happen in the context of a ceasefire or reduction of hostilities. The leaders promised continued diplomatic, military, and financial support to Ukraine, emphasizing that peace will require active diplomacy and pressure on Russia to end the war. President Trump's efforts to halt the killing and achieve lasting peace were welcomed. Ukrainian President Zelensky said recent talks with allies were constructive and insisted that Ukraine will not give up any land amid the confirmed U.S.-Russia summit. Let's listen into what the Ukrainian president has said.
Активний дипломатичний день сьогодні і від ранку координація з партнерами – Британія, Франція, Фінляндія, Естонія, Данія, Іспанія. Дякую всім за чітку підтримку. Перше. Має бути чесне закінчення війни, і саме від Росії це залежить. Саме Росія має закінчити війну, яку вона почала.
Now for this discussion, we are joined by Professor Jim Rice. He's a professor of international law, joining us live from Beacon. Thank you, Professor, for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, how might European leaders' insistence on Kyiv's involvement shape the outcome of any proposed ceasefire or peace framework?
Well, it seems to me, I'll be very frank and I'll be very direct. It seems to me that this a summit that has been hastily cobbled together and set for Friday this week in Alaska is a terrible idea. And it essentially rewards Vladimir Putin, who is a wanted war criminal, to have the status of stepping onto U.S. soil, meeting with a president of the United States, and, you know, if Putin gets his wish, deciding the future of Ukraine behind the back of the democratically elected leader of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. I fully agree with the statement and the position of the European allies that, first of all, there can be no land sacrificed or given up for peace. It's never worked, and it is really not only not a just peace, but it is appeasement. And finally, Putin has not given up his maximalist demands. What Putin has said recently, that he doesn't believe that Ukraine exists. He wants to conquer all of Ukraine. He wants to eradicate Ukraine and make it part of what he considers to be ancient Russian empire.
And Professor Jim, do you think their European influence is strong enough to counterbalance this U.S.-Russia dynamics in this scenario?
That's a great question. Thanks for that. Well, what I think Trump is trying to do, what Trump and Putin are trying to do, is put Ukraine and put their democratically leader, Zelensky, in the position of being the obstruction to peace and ending the war. And I think what the Europeans can do is they can make vocal their right claim that this cannot be done. You cannot have a peace treaty or a peace settlement in the absence of a ceasefire, and you cannot have a peace treaty and peace settlement in the absence of direct participation in front of Putin. And it seems that Putin has made this a condition, that he's not going to be in the room with Zelensky. And it seems, and again, I'm not entirely sure because this is a moving story, but it seems that Trump wants to meet with Putin and then separately with Zelensky, and this is just not good enough.
Thank you, Professor, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we come back to you and we stay on this topic. Now, a drone crash